Hello guys and welcome back to this fifth part of the F1 2015 Pro season with Sergio Perez. We're at Spain today, Catalunya, and we're going to be hoping for a much better performance than what we were able to display in the last few episodes where the pace really hasn't been there. We're still sitting third in the championship, but say Lewis Hamilton looks to be running over that at this stage, so we need to try and put an end to that if we can. So let's go out there, hit qualifying, right in the dick, see what we can get on the grid, and hopefully have some better pace around this track.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Catalunya for today's qualifying session for the Spanish Grand Prix.
So it's dry, that's what we'd like to see, and obviously Spain being quite a high downforce circuit, a lot of high speed and medium speed, long sort of radius corners here, apart from the final sector of course, so hopefully with it being less stop and starts such as Bahrain, I'm hoping for a bit better this time out. Of course, we're now going to head into the first part of qualifying, see if we can get through into Q2 on the prime tyres. We'll see if we use options at the end if we need to. I'm pretty confident that primes should be enough for this session. So, prime tyres was indeed enough to get through. We've plonked ourselves in P8, just shy of 2 seconds off the pace compared to the rest of the guys on option tyres. Lewis Hamilton this time does make it through the first part of qualifying, unlike the last few episodes. No real big names dropping out, say our teammate dropping out there, unfortunately, but we're not really bothered about that. We're only looking ahead. So we're into the second part of qualifying. Let's go and hit the track, see what we can do. So end of P or Q2, I should say, and it's looking very positive, not only for ourselves, but say Ferrari up in the mix is holding first and second. But we've managed to get through in P3, less than a tenth off what would have been the first place in that session. Of course, that was our first one on option tyres, just making sure that we get through into this final part, try not to take too much out of the tyres. Of course, we'll be starting on those in the race, providing that it's dry. But that is very positive, so we're very far ahead of the next few guys, so I presume they've possibly had some traffic on the laps or whatever. But the bottom line is, we are through, we're into Q3, again, we haven't failed to do that this season, so let's go see where we can get ourselves on the grid for the start of the race. Right, so we've just gone into Q3 just to obviously start the session and go out on track, and the car is doing this stupid, weird, glitched handling thing like it did in Bahrain. I just want to try and highlight exactly what it's like to try and give you an idea. So, watching the Williams here, as you can see, medium speed corner, he goes round, the car stays pretty much level, it's not leaning in any direction there, it just stays a level platform. Whereas if you go to our car, and we go back a little bit. What I've done here is I basically was just testing to see what, because I felt it and I was going to look to see what's going on in the spectator cam, and you can see, look how much the car is rolling from side. I'm going to do a bit of weaving here. Look how much the car is rolling from side to side. You can see from the diffuser level on the tyre, it's like phasing into the ground. I don't know what's up with that, but it's causing absolute chaos, and the car just feels like shit. It's pretty much undrivable compared to what it was before in the first few sessions. I really have no idea. I mean, you can see how much the car is moving about, and that sort of difference at the rear of the car is just unsettling the car so much. It's just undrivable. You cannot do anything with the car. So I'm at a loss really, so I had to try and fix that. I don't really know what to do. I guess I'll just have to try and manage, because I really don't know if there is a fix. I don't know what's going on with this. So it's the first lap that I've done that's got me into P5. The car still had the same glitch where it was understeering and everything, but you can see here, look, there's no spark, so it's managed to fix it. I've managed to fix it, but now I've just got chronic oversteer every time I go near the throttle. It's just crazy. I mean, to basically fix the original understeer sparky glitch thing, I essentially basically restarted the session, put the rear tyre pressures up, went out, did a lap, done the hot lap, came back, changed tyres, changed the tyre pressure back to what it was, and now it's gone completely in the polar opposite direction and is just oversteering everywhere. Like even that, say 5th gear, I'm like 75% throttle and the back end's coming out, so that's going to be qualifying finished. We have got P5 and it's a missed opportunity because we definitely had the pace to take the fight to the pole sitter. But P5's not bad considering what we've had to put up with. I'm just hoping that for the race the game sorts itself out, because otherwise we're going to be in a bit of trouble. So 2 Mercedes, 2 Ferraris ahead of us, pretty much to be expected. Bit of a gap to the cars behind, so P5 it will be. Now also we need to go to the track for the race to find out exactly which force engine is going to turn up, the normal one, the understeery one, or the oversteery one. So let's go and do that, see what happens. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, that's exactly what I needed to try and find out exactly what the car was going to be like as rain, so I'm not going to be able to test the car properly to see exactly what one's turned up. Brilliant. Okay, well, it's an intermediate start. Can't do anything with the setup, so we've literally got to start the race and see what happens. So let's have a look. So 5 red lights coming on. There they are. And away they go. As we try and manage the wheel spin off the line. So half decent start. We're going to pick up the slipstream from the Ferrari in 4th place. We'll clear up the inside, so we could try something here. Line of stern up ahead. We are going up the inside of the 2 Ferraris. And we've got that got those places, so we are actually up into P3 behind the 2 Mercedes up ahead. That's a very good start for us. Mercedes running a little bit wide here, which might give us a bit of a run into turn 4. We're up the inside of, I believe it's Rosberg. Feeding in the power. And we've got that position as well, so we are now up into P2 on this opening lap of the race. Now we need to try and settle in if we can to find out what sort of handling Force India we have today for this race in these tricky conditions. So it looks like we've got no DRS, so the rain must just be over that level where DRS is not active, which is a gift to us as Hamilton has scarpered up the road, but we're holding our own at the moment, keeping Rosberg behind. And the rain, according to the engineer, showing no signs of going anywhere, so it's going to be here for a while. So it looks like Rosberg's getting a bit fed up being stuck behind our Force India. I see Hamilton just popping over the brow there, so he has pulled out an initial gap. So we're on about like 5 or 6 at the moment. He pulled out quite a big advantage early on, but the last couple of laps it's been staying pretty much exactly the same. So maybe he's dialed the engine mixture back a bit, which is keeping us in contention slightly. Still no DRS at the moment. Blue skies over there out of the final corner. But for now we're holding our own, so the Ferraris aren't exactly on the back of Rosberg, so it's not like we're holding up a train here. We're doing alright, it's not too bad. So pretty much just about finished about a dozen laps, well I'll say about a few more times. Finished around a dozen laps or so, but Hamilton is really dropping off pace-wise. I don't really know why. So we're not dropping Rosberg. Rosberg's coming with us, but Hamilton has definitely dropped off the pace, and we are closing in over the last few laps. We must have caught well over a second, I think. See if we can get some sort of update to see what our time gain has been. Well, there you go, 4/10 a lap, and they must have been that way for the last 2 or 3 laps. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops, whether Hamilton's got anything to be able to respond to the pressure that we're going to be building over these next few laps as well. DRS now enabled, so it must be drying out to some extent. what that does mean annoyingly though is that as Hamilton actually pits, I was going to say Hamilton's going to get DRS on the back marker, but Hamilton actually pits. Rosberg stays out, of course, but he will now have DRS on us. Up into rich mixture, staying out of the slipstream, picking up some more wet parts of the track. We managed to hold on to what's now going to be first place. It'll be very interesting to see what tyres Hamilton has gone on to. Now for pure realism aspect, well I suppose normally in realism or realistic or whatever, engineers be able to tell drivers what other people have gone on to. And so what I am going to do is in a second I'm going to bring up the race director and see whether Hamilton's gone to intermediates or slicks. Right, let's have a look. Surely it's too early for slicks though. And it is, he's gone on to intermediates, so the DRS has become available as of last lap, but Hamilton's made a pit stop to go on to another set of intermediates, which surely is going to be the wrong calls. If DRS has now been enabled, it must be looking to start drying out. So that could be crucial in a couple of laps time when we see whether the track's going to be dry enough for slicks. But say the rain is still falling quite heavy, so I don't know what exactly has changed to allow DRS to be enabled, but that's the decision the FIA have taken. And Rosberg's going to be very dangerous with that down into the hairpin now then. Because the pit crew still want us to pit, but as far as I'm concerned it's still too early for slicks, and we're going to be going to slicks eventually in a couple of laps surely, so there's no point coming in for inters. We just need to hold this out and make sure we don't damage the tyres too much. So Rosberg pits as well. So that's both Mercedes pitting. Interestingly enough, the back marker's staying out. I don't know whether that's because they've already made a pit stop or not. There's another car coming out of the pit lane. So what I'm going to do for you guys now then is I'm just going to check, get the race director up at the end of this lap to find out exactly what the current race situation is. Obviously, I know it's supposed to be, pro season mode, you're not supposed to have the information, but for you guys watching, it'd be nice to at least keep you guys updated. So there's the situation as it stands at the moment. It looks like we are currently on lap... So we just finished lap 18. You can see great consistency, really. So you can see the drop-off point was around that lap there, and then from that point we've really been struggling, but up to that point the lap times were pretty damn consistent, so that's good to see. But all these other guys at AI making their pit stops, and they've all gone on to intermediates again, so there's only one other guy who's now in the pit lane making a stop. So we're the only car at the moment who's not going to be putting on a second set of intermediates. We need to see what the weather's going to be doing. So let's have a quick update, see what... Oh, rain to stop in 15 minutes time. That's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping he's going to say within the next sort of 5 minutes or so. Plus with DRS becoming enabled a few laps ago, I thought it was going to be drying up a bit quicker, but... So we're going to have to try and nurse these tyres as best we can and see what comes first, whether it's going to be a flying Mercedes or the sunshine and the rain disappearing. Alright, well that's not exactly what I wanted to hear either. Hamilton 3 seconds a lap faster, and it's only going to be getting worse. I think I'll agree with you this time round, engineer. I think we've got to that point where the inters are so warm, and I think, and it looks like a few other pit crews are having the same idea. So we're going to box this lap. We're going to try and get the right fucking tyres ready before we come into the pit lane. So we're going to go options. Right, and we should be good to go. So into the pit lane we come. We have managed to hold off the Mercedes. So that 3 seconds lap message we got last time, or a few laps ago, that seemed to be just sort of a one-off. It seemed to be around 1 and 2 seconds from that point onwards. So we've done quite well to get our lap times back on track. Just getting your head down and focusing for sort of 4 or 5 laps there. For whatever reason, although I've said box this lap, they still weren't particularly ready. So we've lost another couple of vital seconds there, and there is Lewis Hamilton. So maybe I don't know if it's because I changed tyres after I requested the box, I don't know, but that's another couple of seconds down the window. But we are still in first place, which is crucial, because we've got cold options on a damp track, so we need to make sure we get them nicely warmed up. And thankfully, there's no signs of spark, so we seem to have a non-glitched car for this race, which is just superb. Sweet, that's what I like to hear. Again, lovely stuff. Bit of traffic up ahead. We need to make sure we dispatch this, sorry, as quickly as possible, as it's when they do things like that that I really don't enjoy. But we are through just about, and there's Hamilton still that same distance behind, so doing a good job here of just keeping him at bay. It's not what I like to hear. That back mark of the Sauber cost us a little bit of time there. We need to make sure we do what we can to keep Hamilton out of DRS range. Well, let's talk that one up, didn't we? Well, that's a bit of a relaxation moment there, but we want to make sure that even if he does get within DRS and that does get fixed, it's not going to be an issue. Keep that gap over 1 second if we can. So Hamilton clearly sensing his moment. He's running rich mixture, and he's extreme. He's going to be within DRS range. Can we get DRS on the car ahead? Don't think we will. There's a scruffy chicane as well. So we do not get DRS, and I believe Hamilton does indeed have that, so we're going to try and avoid the slipstream as he now comes flying towards us, and now it's game on. As long as we can keep getting good exits like that, we should be okay. So we've got enough straight line speed with this Mercedes engine to keep ahead down the pit straight for now. So no reason to panic just yet. Oh god, we've got a race leaders or a leading car's worst nightmare. We're coming up to lap 3 cars that are all battling for position. Even going side by side and making contact with each other. This is going to be an absolute nightmare. We've still got Hamilton rot on our gearbox. So can we get within DRS range? Surely that's going to be extremely close to within a second of that car ahead. Let's have a look. We are indeed, and Hamilton's actually gone from behind us. I presume he must have come into the pit lane, so he's going for the undercut. We might have to react to that, as we've got him very deep. McLaren, get out of the way. This could be destroying our race here. We've managed to get both of those guys. The Williams that's up ahead. The rear tyres have absolutely gone. And we're in a spot of bother here because Hamilton, I believe, has gone for the undercut. We're going to have to box. So it's a few laps earlier than what I ideally wanted to do, but I can't afford to give away track position. So there's no guarantee, even at this stage, that we're going to get out ahead of Hamilton. It all depends on whether he's come out in traffic, which I really have to hope he has done, because I don't think we've done enough on this out or this in lap to stay ahead of him if he's in clear air. So I do believe we're on lap, I think this was lap 34, so we've only done I think about 12 laps on this stint. I was aiming for either 14 or 15. So worst case scenario is going to be, worst case scenario as I say, will be us pitting, coming up behind Hamilton and having to do those extra laps as well. So pit crew are ready this time, that's good. Let's have a look. We're net P2 at the moment. Can't see any signs of a Mercedes as yet. what's going on then? So we are P2, so I guess somebody else has stayed out. Let's have a look at the race director, see what that's telling us at this stage of the race. So current race leader is Nico Rosberg. Hamilton's down in 5th place apparently, so what's going on there? Has he had an incident somewhere, or... So he's had a 1:46. That was a pit stop. So that's his pit stops onto dries. Then he's got his dry lap times here. There's a pit stop there. Now I'm utterly confused. Because Hamilton was right behind us at one point. We pitted on lap 22. Hamilton started to close in on us. So where's the point? So he's just pitted. He pitted on lap 34. He's done a 1:52.6, so that's a slow... I don't understand where Hamilton's lost so much time. His sector 2 is very slow. Very slow, that's almost 4 seconds off the pace for some reason, so I presume he's had an incident somewhere in the first sector, or sorry, the second sector of his outlap. But that's fine by me. Well, that will possibly do, so depending on how far Nico Rosberg was behind him as well, that could open the door for him to get through once he comes in and makes his stop. So Rosberg has just come to the pit lane a lap later than us. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll do a few corners and then ask the engineer who the car behind is, and we'll see whether it's going to say Rosberg or Hamilton or maybe even someone else. Who knows? So we'll do this corner and then we'll ask the engineer the vital question. And it's Raikkonen. What an anticlimax that was. So I presume he's still got to make a stop. We've got 30 laps to go, so we pitted with 31 laps to go, so we're not too far outside of our strategy window. It's not too bad. What's going on here then? Who is this? This is Lewis Hamilton. What the hell is he doing? What the hell? Oh, so I'm actually coming up to lap Lewis Hamilton, who's got oh, bloody hell. Must have some sort of serious problem because he's all over the place. I'm confused. So he's not coming into the pit lane, but he most certainly did just drive off the circuit completely as we came up to lap him. Okay, I don't understand what's happened there, but I'm not going to complain. Let's just get on with it. Wait, what? Rosberg's not right behind me. That's Hamilton, and he's still driving all over the place. See, there's actually a huge gap behind us. So what's the gap to Rosberg now, apparently? Oh, it's Raikkonen behind us now, apparently. And he's not even going to tell me how far the distance. Oh my god, nice English. I'm confused so much right now. He's not even going to tell us how big the gap is between us. Come on, engineer, you can do it. Yep. 20 plus. What? So is that Rosberg pitting for an undercut of sorts, or is the game really just that confused right now? Alright, which fuck monkey's absolutely wiped out the braking boards on the left hand side into turn 1? Because that is my reference point completely destroyed right now. I think somebody has a... I don't know what, mind wash, skill washed Hamilton, because he's driving like miles an hour at the moment. Because we're coming around to lap him again within the space of, I don't know what, well, not even a dozen laps. We've had less than 10 laps, I think. We've lapped him again. I have no idea what's going on with that Mercedes, but I'm clueless. I have no idea, but all I do know is that we are one stop away from our pit stop window. The gap to Raikkonen is still over 20 seconds at this stage, so I can only presume there's multiple different strategies going on. But for our strategy, we're on, this makes lap, what was this, lap 49, lap 50? Around that I think it's lap 50. So we're going to be pitting at the end of this lap, going on to another set of options, and then trying to drive this car home to the checkered flag in what could very well potentially be first place. A long way to go between now and then. It's got too bad. Hence why if you look to your left, you'll probably see me coming towards you at about 49 miles an hour. So, final pit stop. Let's make it a good one, boys. 2.3. Safe but steady. Safe but steady? Sure. However, we are going to come out of the pit lane and we are going to resume first place. So, essentially, 16 laps of this circuit separate us and our first ever win for Sergio Perez in F1. Let's see how things go. Oh my word. That's Hamilton, who's finally hit the wall and lost a front wing. My word. Literally seconds after saying, oh, let's make sure we get to the end and there's just 16 laps to go, there's a Mercedes sprawled across the track. Jesus Christ, my bicycle. Not the most orthodox way to lap 2 cars, but we're through on the other side. That's all that matters right now. No, fuck off. I'm not having rain. It's just not needed, Codemasters, please. Ricardo, just chilling in second apparently now, although half a minute behind. Over half a minute. And the remaining laps, the countdown is now entered into single digits. God, my pit crew are turning into bloody Mercedes in real life at the moment, so we're chilling out front and yet they're coming over the radio and fretting about this, that and the other with just a handful of laps to go. Just let me get on with the job in hand. Lads, it's the final lap of this race. The rain is coming down. We've got a lead of 30 plus seconds. This could very well be the last lap we complete in Formula 1 as a non-race winner, driving a Sergio Perez. The rain is hardly coming down. It's not going to make a difference to the car on the track. Obviously the tyres are extremely worn. This is the longest stint we've done on option tyres, but of course the car is the lightest it's been at any point in this race, so that's not too bad. We just need to continue to do what we've done for 65 of these laps so far and complete this last lap in the same manner. Now into the final sector. Surely nothing's going to be able to take this away from us. Just a handful of corners to go. We've still got fuel in hand. It's been that much of a cakewalk. Round the final chicane. Round the final corner. Sergio Perez is a race winner in Formula 1. Woohoo! Wow. Didn't see that one coming, did you? Neither did I, but there you are. There's your podium. Who would have guessed that at the start of the race? Sergio Perez on the top step, Ricardo claiming second, and I wasn't really even paying attention. It's Kimi Raikkonen on the third step as well, but Sergio Perez collects his first ever winner's trophy in Formula 1, as do the Force India team as well. Let's just let that sink in for a moment as they spray the champagne on the podium.
I think that result has made Vijay Mallya the happiest man in the paddock. great result for Force India.
Sometimes a driver just feels comfortable in the car and is dialed into the track, making for an unbeatable combination.
After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
Well, would you look at that? We have not just won that race, we have demolished every other driver in the field. There's only one other car that was not lapped in that race, Daniel Ricciardo, finishing over half a minute behind. And I don't even know what's happened in that race. I mean, you've got Hamilton 18th, DNF, Rosberg 20th, DNF, both Mercedes not finishing, penalties for Alonso and Ericsson. Just multiple pit stops up and down the field. You've got 6 stops going on. We'd managed to finish the race on a 3-stop. No one else managed to do that. That is absolutely crazy. I'm lost for words. I can barely even muster up any words to sum up and finalise this video. Well, there you have it. Sergio Perez, race winner. Spanish Grand Prix. Unfortunately, I imagine a lot of people are going to make comparisons to Pastor Maldonado. I hope that doesn't happen. Maybe we can even grab 2 wins to take us out of that ballpark next time out in Monaco, which you have to say we're going to be riding a wave of... I don't know, what are we going to be riding a wave of? Confidence? Yeah, let's ride that wave. Confidence is what we're going to be riding into Monaco. And who would have thought after Bahrain was struggling to hold on to the bottom end of the points, that one race later, and at the end of that, we would be simply 7 points off the top of the Drivers' Championship. Hamilton, of course, DNFing, 25 points coming our way. That's reduced the gap from 32 to just 7. And in the Constructors, again, another important race for Force India, moving us back up into 3rd place for that. So that has been the Spanish Grand Prix. There's been ups and downs, there's been glitches and rain and all sorts going on. But at the end of the day, we have won the race. Sergio Perez is a race winner. We are back in the fight for this title for the Drivers' Championship. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time, I hope, for Monaco, which should be even crazier if that's apparently going to be possible at all. We'll soon find out. But until then, it's bye for now. Thank you for watching.